Gentlemen, this is welcome to another Boogie Beast podcast.
You know
what is Boogie Beast? Boogie Beast is a mind-body fitness practice that uses the power of movement for the human ability to play and exercise. We focus on overall well-being as we believe true transformation begins by exercising your mind and moving your body. Do you know what I mean?
You already know, man.
You already know. So,
because if you ain't moving your body, man, you're slacking.
You're slacking. Slacking.
So it's good to be back again.
My man. What is good, man?
That's all it is, man. Listen, people gotta understand this podcast stuff is like, it's not that easy as they look at it.
It ain't, man.
We got life as well, like, so when we come out here and we put this energy in here, you know what I mean? It's probably our last bit of energy we have as well, and we just put it all online. So just to connect with you guys out there. So and every day is all this different stuff what it's trying to come up with as well, because it's not always that easy, you know, because everything does take a lot of preparation as well. So
there's a lot going on in the background.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's it.
So a lot people think like we don't have to do this, but we do it because obviously
share some knowledge.
We're trying to share some knowledge, and we know like there's a lot of people out there that might benefit from it.
Exactly.
You know? So if we do our parts, you know what I mean, if one person listens to it and it changes, it makes a change. You know what I mean? It's all, the deed is done.
That's what it is, man. That's why we're here, like, you know. So today it's gonna be a bit of a different subject, you know what I mean? Because you know, something we've noticed, me and you, like, you know what I mean, we talk about it. We talk about obesity, you know. We preach about this every day amongst the adults, you know, people, but we always kind of forget about, you know, before we were adults, we were something before. So that's what we kind of said. Today we're going to bring it back into the kids. You get it?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to talk about basically not in the adult life. We're going to focus more on the kids side of it. Children's, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, what's your intake on this whole process about?
Kids, I think generally when we're looking at kids, obesity in kids, we have to, it comes from obviously directly from the parents. You know what I mean? And if you see an obese child, you don't have to look further to, you know what I mean, to where it comes from. Obviously there are like some medical issues with some kids.
Yeah, true.
But generally I think it's the lack of, and again, I'm not gonna put a blame on any parents, but it's the lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. And if a kid wants something, like, you know, like, and it's not good for them because they're crying, and you have to shut them up. To just give them that thing, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing a good job.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, or you helping them, because at the end of the day, it's gonna fall back on you, because, like, you know, like if you keep feeding kids like chocolate or crisps,
all this junk, you know, like Coke, and
because before you know it, like they become addicted to it. Like studies have proven that there are all these sugar is very addictive.
Very, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like salt intake and so before you know it, these kids are going to be like addicted to it, you know. But obviously we don't use the word addict when it comes to kids, but at the end of the day, a lot of kids are.
Yeah, addicted to that sugar, yeah.
And like, and if you don't give it to them, they throw tantrums.
Yeah.
But if, you know, like, even I think apart from just feeding them everything all together, it teaches them a sense of discipline that you're not always going to get what you want.
One in life,
you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's like I think a lot of parents should possibly take that approach of like saying no.
Looking after, yeah. And that's the problem. A lot of parents find it hard to say no to kids is this, because they feel if they say no to their kid, they're being a bad parent or, you know, some type of way about it. So you always feel the pressure of being necessary, have to say yes all the time. So which, you know, I feel that's the issue. You know, parents should have a confidence in telling their kids, listen, no
means no.
No. You know, and once you implant this into your kids, you know what I mean, they will understand. No, because imagine you have a kid doesn't take no for an answer. When he gets older, does not run his parent, is going to have a problem taking no from the rest with people in the world, general people that doesn't know you know what I mean? So now let's bring it back to the whole topic about the whole diet, you know, obesity and all that stuff in kids. One thing why I chose this topic is I was coming back from work the other day, and then, bro, literally, man, I was literally getting on the tram, and I saw a lady. And I'm not being judgmental now, like no, but just observation. Like so, there's difference between being judgmental and observing things. So this is just from my observation. So basically, this lady, man, and she was with her husband. They had the daughter in the Boogie. This daughter probably about 6, 7 at least. Still in the baby's Boogie, first of all. I was like, geez, okay, that's weird. I mean, she can walk like, you know what I mean? It's no problem. Then I'm looking at the size of this girl. She's super obese, man. I mean, like super obese. Like, I'm like, wow. Then I was like, then I looked at the parents, I looked at the mom, I was like, okay, she's a bit like, you know what I mean? I looked at the dad, he wasn't, but you can still tell he's almost, he will be going to that. And the guy had a Coke on his hand, the mom had, the little daughter has a Coke can, a packet of Crips, eating that, and the mom just, so in that moment, that's when I froze, like, Jesus, look at this little girl. And to her now, obviously, she's not aware, conscious of what the parent is creating on her right now. So when she gets older, this is when the psychological power of it start playing effect on her, where she's like, oh, you get into secondary school, you get into primary school, people start telling you you're fat. You know, she's not aware of that now. And this is where the parent are creating a problem. So I was like, geez, this is a poor guy. I don't blame her for being like that.
It's not her fault.
It's not her fault. It's because it's what the parents, like you said, gave to her. So I'm like, geez, it has to be the parent's fault. You know what I mean? So this is why parents need to be careful. I mean, you're looking at your little girl like that going to that route. And eventually, this girl will get older, get into college or secondary school, and she's going to be abused. Not saying it's her fault. Oh, you're fat, that you're going to be caught this. But this is something she's been carrying all her life to that present moment. So the whole point for me was like, geez, like people really need to, parent need to really start paying attention to their kids. Like, you know what I mean? Because their kids, they like chocolate, they like sweet, they like all this sweet thing, but you need to put control over this, because at the end of the day, you're giving that kids love, you're giving them everything, but at the same time, you are messing up.
You're not gonna make life.
You're messing up. You're messing up their health, and you know, and
it's gonna be like,
and it's gonna be hard something for them to drop when they get older as well. So that's the, and when I checked as well, I actually did a quick research as well. Ireland actually is one about maybe 2006, 16, 17, 16. They had one of the highest
child obesity
rates in Europe,
which was quite surprising. Like, you know, for a very small country.
Exactly, you know what I mean. And obviously, with time, it's dropped, and obviously it's dropped a bit, but the percentage is still there. You know what I mean. And now you have kids like boys and girls who has more high chance of being obese. Is it a boy or girl? So if you go to primary school, you get secondary school, you go to like secondary school, who have more chance of being obese. So they find out the girls have higher chances of being more obese. Like maybe like, let's say the boys are about 10% being obese and the girls about 13% being obese. You know what I mean? So all these statistics kind of like add up. You know what I mean? And everything kind of reflect back to the parents. So yeah, it's I think it's not just kind of like the kids. I think the parent as well, because if the parent as well doesn't have a good lifestyle, and
it's going to reflect on the kid
as well. So that's what I'm saying. As a parent, if you're out there, we're not trying to bash anybody, but it's just, if you are looking to raise a kid, let's just don't raise your kid in the form of a sense of, give them whatever they want, the games, take them on holidays, the chocolate, that you need to be very disciplined with their health as well, the food, you know, stuff, because they're kids now, but they're not going to be kids forever.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? So, and this is where they will get affected by, you know, stuff like this, because I've seen people like, when I was in school, people like, just, you know,
lack of confidence.
Yeah, lack of confidence and
health issues. It goes on and on. You know what I mean? And it's you know, like, it's essential for us, like whoever has a child or kid. And again, just like that kid that you said, the parents like, they probably don't even have like something that the kid, like an activity that the kid does.
Exactly.
You know, because and once you know, like there are kids that have like chronic diseases that you would expect from an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in this day and age, which is like
that's
ridiculous.
crazy. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, the parents are the ones that are going to pay the cost of it,
That's
and
true.
the kid is in the long run is going to pay even higher cost of it. But based on the situation where the kid, and generally kids are generally very active, and once they get to that stage, their activity is going to reduce.
Yeah, the level of activity just drops.
It's just going to drop because they don't like
they don't exercise. The body
they can't carry their body.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Do you know what I mean? So I like. It's not like you're bashing anybody, but you have to point the fingers at the parents.
Yeah.
Because at this stage, the schools are doing a great job in obviously like educating kids about
foods and
even like the kids the school that my daughter goes to, like they give them healthy foods. You know what I mean? They don't give them crap. You know, they get like
that's very important.
You know what I mean? Like which is like. This obviously there was a guy that did a huge campaign a few years ago from UK. He's a chef, and he brought he brought people's attention to the importance of good like decent meals in school, and you just have to. Do you know what I mean?
And it is true, because if you look at school system as well, man, like a lot of school systems, they don't care too much about the food. All they do is slap the kids when they get the cheese, the milk, the bread, and ham, like stuff like that. You feed this to kids every single day, and this is why you get the result. And like it's so essential the way the kids go to school and they teach them about ABCs and maths and English. It's also as important like to also monitor this kid's health, because at the end of the day, a kid can go to school and go learn, but if his health is in jeopardy, he can't continue education. You know what I mean? So it's like you said, like it's something the Irish. I'm sure it's in the Irish system, but I think it's something the parents really, and the schools as well. Obviously, some schools are already doing it. You know what I mean? But some are not doing it yet. So I think it's very important for the parent to actually get a hold of the kids and actually start monitoring the food. And like kids like sweet. I'm not saying don't give your kids sweet, but cut down the intake of it, and put your kids through some few activities. You know what I mean, to do, or encourage them to get off and go for a walk, or just a stroll, rather than sit at home all day, play game, be on the phone. And we live in that world where everybody is on the phone constantly, iPad, this. So we are getting lazy as time goes by, because we have gadgets, things that in our comfort zone. And as a parent, you need to encourage your kids to get up. Okay, cool, you're back from school, you had a long day in school, you did this and that, okay, cool, you're back on that, just don't chill and sit on the Xbox or TV. Do something, you know what I mean?
I think a lot of it comes down to the awareness and the importance, even the awareness of the parents as well.
Yeah.
And how important, like this life, like what they take serious, what's more important in their life. You know what I mean? Like, so if health and fitness and well-being is more important in their life, they will pass that on to the kids. But if it's not a priority, it's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? In a way, like obviously parents always want to mold their kids, the way they are. Do you know what I mean? So they would always it's just a natural thing. We just want the best for them. But if we are not in our right state and that's we don't even, it's not even in our rear view. We don't even think about these things, and they might not be aware of the damage they're doing to themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
And so if they don't even understand the damage they're doing to themselves, how would they know
what they do to the kids?
Because for some reason this is like standard. Like this way of life. Take like ordering cheaper, eating
fast food and all this
fast food. This, but because if depending on their surrounding, what they surround themselves with. So if it's a normal thing within their surroundings, then they don't see it, because everybody's like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you live in a community community where like everybody is generally like fat. Everybody's like along the line of obesity. Or people that don't really take care of themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
And like those community where like there's more pubs.
Right, no.
There's more pubs.
There's more pubs than pharmacies.
No. Actually,
there's more pubs than what's it called?
A community where they have a lot of pharmacies around, then there's a pub.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot of pharmacies and they have a lot of what you call it.
That's
a lot
true.
of pharmacies and a lot of pubs and shitty foods.
That's an
I
issue.
can guarantee you, put a camera outside a shop and you will see, like, the problem is it's what in the community,
in the environment.
in the environment. So like, and again, I think you have to take, like, if you're living in an environment like that, you know what I mean, it's easy to forget, like, to not be aware,
to get lost
in all of that. Do you know what I mean? Say until you take yourself out of that environment to a different environment, you realize like what the fuck is happening to you. But like again, it's a system. Like it's kind of like a system thing. You know what I mean? If you're in the system, you don't realize it. You know what I mean? Until like maybe like someone that you really, even if someone else is telling you like, yo, don't do this shit. You don't see it because like the person telling you is a minority. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, majority of people are doing the things like
So like I think it's again like that's why platform like this is quite important. To pass on the this knowledge, because again it's something like it's not like we don't have to do this. You know what I mean? So like it's something like we know, like we see the problem. You know what I mean? I was talking to a friend of mine today and she was like, yo, I'm outside the coffee shop and all I can see, like she was saying like the different, like you could, like when you're on Instagram you see like everybody has a perfect body or whatever, and the people that you can't see their body, you just see their face like and in the real world there's chaos. You know what I mean? Everybody's like big, like kids are obese, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, I didn't actually think about it like that. I was like, oh shit. But I've observed people and I realize like there's a crisis. You know what I mean? Like everybody puts their best day on social media.
That's how it works.
But at the end of the day, there is a crisis, and the crisis is not people's health. It's the knowledge. The information, the lack of information, that is the problem, not the help. Because if you have the right information, then you can do something about it. And lack of information like leads to lack of awareness. Do you know what I mean? So once you're not aware of it, someone comes with you with information, you can't process it.
It doesn't even sink in. Like,
do you know what I mean? There's no way you can process it.
It doesn't stick.
And on this topic of worry, on this topic, I think also like some parents are doing a good job when it comes to their kid, giving them everything, like putting them into like activities, but they neglect themselves.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Do you know what I mean? So we're talking about one side, and we have to talk about the knock-on effect of the other side. So I think it is important, no matter how much you want the best for your kids, you are the most important thing, and like for you, to be there. Like, because again, if you give everything to your kids and you neglect yourself, you're gonna end up suffering.
Oh yeah.
So, but like,
easily,
it's easy. You can do both at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like it's a lifestyle you need to incorporate within the family. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it that's the way it has to be. You can't.
It's again that balance. I get what you mean.
It's
like
balance,
because as a parent, we tend to just get lost. Because we want the best for our kids. We want to provide for them. Then you just almost kind of like give up on yourself. And this is something that's a good point you make. This is something like I'll probably find among the women mostly. Women usually give up.
Just like in relationship, like single women always on point. No pun intended, like, but I'm saying like
I ain't say nothing.
I'm saying like single women are always like taking care of themselves, but like even and once again into relationship,
but once you get in a relationship, you get comfortable, because you're comfy, everything is good.
Yeah, I've been speaking of that, it's not just men or it's just not women. I've been in that situation. I let myself go. You know what I mean?
No, I know everybody,
you know what I mean?
But what I'm talking about when it comes to the parent, the
I was looking at a picture when I was in Vegas. I looked at my picture, like, you know what I mean? Man, like I had the fake dreads back then.
those are the good old days, man.
Extension dreads, you know what I mean? I looked at my belly, I was like, oh shit!
I got belly out here, man. I was too old for this shit.
I was like, God damn, man.
But that's it though, like, how you went back, you see that, and you made transformation, you know what I mean? And you change all that around, and that's what we're just trying to encourage people to do. But you can change things around, and just going back to what you said about, you know, letting yourself go. I found out, obviously, in a relationship with kids, the woman always taking more on the head than the men. That's just naturally how things works, because I think women are just emotional like that. The things we men will kind of like just brush off, like the women
takes a hold on. Yeah,
women really. So I think women in general do intend to take too much on the neck with the kids, and they forget about themselves. So it's good to all this. Yeah, the kids are important, but also kind of like, don't forget to look after yourself. Don't forget to remind yourself that you do matter as well. You know what I mean? As much as your kid is your life, because without you, they won't be here anyway. So you have to.
If you don't function, the whole
the kids won't function. So it's kind of like you're creating. If you're not in the right shape of mind, you're subconsciously creating this on your kids as well. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure you are always on point. It's not easy, but don't forget about yourself, and don't just put everything on your kids as well. So. And yeah, it's just about finding a balance and just making sure, like, you know, the kids, looking after the kids out, you know. So this whole point of this video is just kind of like just making sure we're spreading that awareness of people knowing, like, you know, there's kids, obesity out there. Let's not forget it. If you're a parent, you have your kids out there who's got massive amount of weight that they shouldn't have, and you're struggling on how to help them out, because at the very age they are, they probably wouldn't understand what's going on. You want the best. There's many ways you can go about. You can take them out to activities, you know what I mean? You can start by changing your lifestyle, you know, and changing your food, changing your, I'm not saying diet, just
but think about it. If a parent changes the, like, you know, their life, like the kind of diet, like their food, and, you know, takes more holistic, like takes more an healthier option. Naturally, the kid they will gravitate towards that as well. You know what I mean? So, but, you know, the one more thing I want to talk about as well, like, is like, I think with parents as well, like, I think these days we are quick to like baby our kids, and on the mental side, I think a lot of parents should really, we as parents, like, you know, we should really take more, like, you know, really speak to the kids from, you know, from a higher level, you know what I mean? You know, like, you know, speak to them on a higher level, on a sense of, and sometimes as well, let's try and connect with them from their perspective, because again, we always want them to do this or that, but like about let's see life from their point of view, because there's a lot we can learn from, you know what I mean, from kids. Kids, like my daughter has taught me so much about life, just by me paying attention to her, or even we just talk. Like, sometimes I record our conversation and I listen back to it, you know what I mean? And like, you know, but like, you know, but because they don't have any qualms about life.
They don't have anything.
They don't have issues. They don't, you know what I mean? Everything's just pure. You know, like, compared to different ages. You know what I mean? And I've watched my kids sometimes, like, you know, like, but she knows sometimes she like keeps some things to herself. You know what I mean? And I just encourage her to, you know, like, to, you know, speak on it, and, you know, because she observes everything. You know what I mean? And I'm always constantly like, you know, observing her as well. And we have a chat, you know what I mean? And like, and I think even, you know, like, their brain would, you know, like, they can learn to analyze stuff and break down stuff, but at the same time, they will always be the kids, but like, you know, but, and in the sense of like, speak to them from their perspective, like, you know, how, you know, like, and just play with them, because, you know, like, and not just always impose like this or that, you know, like, just sometimes just be kids, because we're once kids, and we as a matter of fact, we are all kids. We never really grew up.
We're still kids.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, like, we never really grew up. So, but like, I think if we go from their perspective, there's so much they can teach us.
That's
you know what I mean? And because they are
the kids. They are the key. Man.
You know what I mean? They are the key to life, and they have the key. So just because they're just pure, you know what I mean?
You can learn so much from
you can learn so much about life, and like, it's like, and when you, like, seriously, like just it's unconditional love that they have, because they, no matter what you're going through, even and you come into the house, and the love they give you, like you can't get there anywhere else.
No.
You can't, because you just know it's unconditional. Even if you like, even if you don't give them time, they still give you unconditional love.
That's
and
true.
you don't get there anywhere else.
That's
Do you know
right.
what I mean?
I totally agree with that.
And no matter what age, even if it's and again, they don't have to be able to speak. You know, in every age, they just, you know.
Oh man, they're like beautiful things, man. You know, like you're alright, bro. It's always about connecting with the kids. Because obviously, as a parent, growing up as well, from my side we came up, it's always about what the parents says, what they say, what they say.
Go to church.
It's not about what we say. They don't even want to listen to what we have to say. It's just what they say is what stands.
Yeah,
so
it's conditioned.
It's conditioned to us as well. So that's why a lot of us these days we have an issue communicating with our parents. We can't
even communicating with the world. You know,
even communicate with the world, and you can't have like long conversation with your parents and talk about your feelings or how you do. Because they never really build that connection, and it's because everything's all about just do as you're told. Do as I say. So that really you carry that for the rest of your life. It does,
and it affects. I think it affects us, like,
it does, man.
Because again, like even with communication as well, sometimes like we can't express ourselves freely as we will because of maybe like how we've been raised, like in the way that we've been kind of conditioned, don't speak to someone, or when I'm talking, shut up, or things like that, like we carry that on, and again, and from my side, I don't really have that strong connection, or I can't really talk for my mom for that long and be like that, but again, that's just from our own past, and that's all she knew, and that's how she thought things, like there's no wrong or right way, but like obviously it's left to us, like the new generation, to decide how we want to raise our own kids, like whether it's going to be
same old fashioned
way or create a new way, you know what I mean?
It's all about making ways, man. We definitely create new ways. So yeah, man, it's actually an interesting topic we spoke about today. Going from being obesity and obviously being in touch with the kids and obviously the parent as well, being parent knowing, what the right way to approach the kid, and also diet as well, because we always forget about, at the end of the day, no matter what we discuss, we always still relate it back to the healthy lifestyle, you know what I mean?
It always comes back to that.
It always comes back to that, man.
And because the relationship is with your food is the same relationship with yourself.
You know what I mean?
Mind, body, food.
So that's why we just try to cover things around, and then sometimes it might feel like. So anyways, it's been a wonderful topic.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? It's been
always.
It's been an amazing, chat. People might agree with us, people might disagree with us, but listen, we don't care really. Like,
at the end of the day, if this conversation relates to anybody, that's why we do it. That's why we do what we do. You know what I mean? Like I said, we don't have to do it because it's something that we're passionate about. And we decided to, speak on different topics. But at the end of the day, it always comes back to you. Your relationship always comes back to yourself. How is your mind? What's your relationship with your food? And your mental state, and everything always connect together. We can pick any topic, and I can guarantee you, it always comes back to that. Your mind, your body, your food. The relationship you have, without your mind, nothing works, and that's why I say the most important diet is the diet of your mind. If that's in order, everything, it would have a knock-on effect to everything else. So on that note, thank you very much. This is for tuning into another Boogie Beast podcast, and until next time, with my man, Mental Focus, as always, appreciate you. Till next time.
We'll be back again.